Hello again. This is Ma Lakshmi Anand, and my video just seems to want to, my camera just seems to want to keep videotaping, so I'm gonna go with it. Um, you are one mind with your SP, your soulmate, your mirror soul, your twin, that person that keeps coming back to you, into your heart, and that you just keep you can't walk away. Okay, it just keeps leading you back. Your heart, mind, and soul. You try to move forward, but they keep pulling you back. You went off this journey. You're wanting off. You're wanting off this mirror soul journey. If you're here, I'm sorry if it started, and it's just you. There's no getting off because you decided before you entered this realm with your other person that you were going to do this. You are of one mind. You are of one soul, essentially. You are one. You're like the same perfume in two different bottles. That's one way I've heard it described. And you cannot attack or be mad at your other person, your person, or anybody else for that matter, but specifically what your person, because your vibrations are the same. If they're a soulmate, they're kind of the same, but if you're twin souls, then it's the same vibration. So it's going to hit really hard. Anything you think against them or judge them, or if you judge yourself, okay, but we're talking about judging them. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt you. You can't hurt them without hurting yourself. You can't have a negative thought about them without having it feel bad inside yourself. Notice, next in meditation, sit down and think about what's that thought. What's that thought? Again, we can look at that in Sedona method, welcoming method, the triple welcoming method, and how to deal with that. But right now, you just need to understand that you're of one mind. What you feel, they feel. What you think about them, they think that about you. If you're feeling insecure, they're feeling insecure. Believe it or not, if you're divine feminine, your divine masculine is most likely not showing that, except sometimes you may say something like, you could have anybody you want, why do you want me? And they're like mistrustful of it, mistrustful of your motives. They may look like they're running or afraid to lose their freedom. But if you really look at it, really look closely inside yourself, you may find that you also have fears about being close to them, because it is intensive. For a long time, I was like, no way that I want to be in the same home. I want to be with them all the time. And then when I really started looking at it, about what my fears were, it was like, wow, I feel like, I was thinking he was an avoidant or something, right? We've heard that one before. it was an avoidant, and I was like, ooh, what would that be like, living with an avoidant? I could be trapped, like, in a long-term marriage with somebody who is just going to ignore me all the time. And I just couldn't even stand that thought. When I really looked into myself, I was like, I'm a very extroverted person at this point in my life. And they're very introverted in my situation. Well, how's that going to work? It seemed like at that time, that's what it all seemed like. So when I looked at, I had my fears. When I really looked into my subconscious about it, what was my fear? Because if they seem to be fearing a relationship, then you're fearing. You're just not looking deep enough and thinking about, like when I was trying to manifest what our life would be like on a daily basis, which is Neville Goddard looking from the end, right? We're trying to manifest. I was like, ooh, I kind of can't see it. I can't see that I'm happy in this marriage, right? In this long-term relationship, the way I was thinking about it, right? I was like, because I was thinking he's avoidant, he's going to ignore me, I'm going to be trapped, I'm going to lose my freedom. Well, that's the same thing, and they say avoidance think, right? Instead of anxious attachment, blah, 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 and all that. Don't be careful about putting labels on everything, on your other person or yourself. Manifest that ish. We don't want to do that. So I had to look at what my ideas were that I had when I was trying to figure out what was going on. Knew nothing about the twin flame or the mirror soul journey. And I had learning about the avoidant and the anxious attachment styles and all that. And in doing so, I put these ideas in my head, and two, from what the running was putting in my head, was that he's going to be, even if we're married, and even from what he told me about it, his style, or what, I can't talk too much more about it, but basically I had ideas about that I needed to change what I thought about what it was manifesting way, way in the future when I tried to think from my end. So go to your end. I'm looking at my topic. Go to your end and look at what you think daily life would be like, or what your fears are like. It'll start to show up. What fears do I have about this, like 7 years in the future, 10 years, 15 years in the future, 20 years in the future? Go to your ends and look back. You can do it. Neville Goddard talks about this regularly. Those things need to be healed, looked at. You have to start seeing your end in a different way. Because what they seem to be fearing from you, you are actually also fearing. So go to your end. Like I said, after the marriage, after, whatever you're manifesting, long-term relationship, 10 years down the road, 15, 20 years down the road, what does it look like? What do you think's happening? Are you physically, are you still like, do you have that passion in the relationship? Are you going places? Are you laughing together? Are you, having breakfast together? Or are you in separate rooms because there's a conflict? Because you're just roommates now. That stuff. So that's how we need to go to the end and keep like pre-paving, like Abraham Hicks talks about, pre-paving. How is that life? What is that daily life like? You know, if we have to get other ideas about what a healthy relationship looks like, then we got to do that. So we got to start manifesting that consciously, because you are one. What, you know, and they may not tell you what they're really fearing, but if they could, that would be great. Mine did give me some hints about it. Afraid of betrayal and trauma and things, but they did give me some hints. So take that, and there's some subconscious work to be done so that you can also heal your divine partner, your divine spouse, your kingdom spouse. Isn't some other words for it, for this special relationship, hopefully turned holy relationship, which is what the Course in Miracles, A Course in Miracles, talks about in here in chapter, mainly in chapter 22. Starts really in chapter 22. Let me see. The happy dream and the vision of holiness, the consistency of means and ends. This is an amazing book. Here it is, 22. I don't know if you can see that. Salvation and the holy relationship. Chapter 22. Amazing. Amazing. Okay. I've started studying this in the 1990s. I've been a long-time student, saved my life. I'm also an MSW, therapist, counselor, addiction professional, which includes codependency, and trauma release exercise facilitator, attuned Ingen Dian Usui Reiki, yogi, etc., etc. Ordained minister. If you want some help and guidance, my email is in the description in this channel's information, along with other links. To have a great life, start by having a great day. Please like, share, subscribe, and I will see you soon. I don't know where my clicker is. Have a great day. Bye.